this environment, we've deployed this duplicate insights playbook into Alex. So it's kind of within the Alex UI itself. So as I mentioned, there are 5 stages in this. The first stage we spoke about is being able to analyze. So you can see the first thing you see when you come into this playbook is a high-level dashboard that telling you here are 74 reports that have been scanned, of which about 41% of them have been detected to be duplicate. There's 27 reports that could be potentially decommissioned, which is showing you a metric that you can get rid of 27 reports because of duplicate scenarios. And the dashboard has a whole bunch of different drill downs. One interesting drill down is based on the report's lifecycle status. So, for example, you can see immediately that 16 active reports, which means these are reports that's constantly used within an organization. These reports have been detected for having duplicate information. So these are all clickable. They interact with one another. So you can actually, drill in and see what within the 16, what are the duplicate categories and what groups they fall into. So you can see there's HR-related reports, staff-related reports, and so on. We can also kind of reset your filter. Another interesting feature is every time you run a filter in any of these journey points, it applies the entire journey. So for example, if I filter this as 16 and move into the asset catalog where we want to do a drill down, you can see it's already showing 16 out of the 74. So that's how it works. And if I come and say, remove the filter, it shows all 74. So the asset catalog area, which is where you're going to do the drill downs, is giving you a complete list of all of your reports, and it gives you a type of whether it's a duplicate or non-duplicate, its status. We have plans to bring other columns into this that gives you more insights like who's the owner, which workspace the report is in, and information like that. Or you can simply click on these, and this actually opens up a card view that gives you that information. So if you look at a card, say an active report that's not being detected for duplicates, like the payroll costings, you can see it even tells you the total activity counts, the recent activities, consumers, and a list of users who's using the report as well. So it gives you a good bit of information about what you're looking at. So now we move on from drill downs to being able to do kind of a comparison. So the comparison is done in the Group Explorer view. So here what we have is the different duplicate groups, right? So you have an entire list of duplicate groups. So for example, if I click on HR training, it tells me that there are 6 reports that's duplicating with each other, while it also highlights one of the reports as the primary survivor, or what you can call your golden report. This is the report that primary is being used, and the assumption here is that everything else is a duplicate of that report. Now, at this point, as a user, you might be a steward or you might be a report owner. You want to compare and see why it's a duplicate, right? And not just off the bat take information as it is. And if it's a duplicate, you should be able to retire it, or take action on what do I do with this duplicate report. For that, you jump into the 4th stage, which is the launch wizard here, where we can make decisions based on the comparison. So to be able to compare and make decisions, it gives you a side-by-side view of the golden record, the surviving report, and the corresponding duplicate reports one by one, where you can compare, like, okay, what's the reason for the duplication? You can see things like query counts, this doesn't have query counts, last active dates, and so on. You can see it's last used in 2024, and then you can make a decision saying, okay, I want to retire duplicate report, click on retire, select the person who's going to review it. So I give it back to the owner, tell the business impact if you have impact, and then you can also leave a comment, or there will be an auto-generated comment that you can pass as your response. So I can just say confirm next, and then it will bring out the next report because there's going to be 5 reports being assessed. So you can go through all of them, and let's say you come across a report where you think it's not a duplicate because it's got training information, you want to keep it. You can say keep duplicate, but when you say keep duplicate, a lot like before, you can give the owner and the business impact, but at the same time, you want to give a period of time you want to keep it to, because you want to time box how long you're keeping this report before it gets assessed against for duplicate scenarios. So I can say in months, weeks, or so on. So I can say months, and I can say whether it's 3 or 4 months, and then I can even I can edit this, edit the comment here saying keep this report for future usage, something like that, and then I can confirm next, and I'll just go to the last one. I'll put that also retire and duplicate, and once I'm done, it gives me a summary saying I've assessed all 5 reports, and I have decided to keep 1 report, and I have asked to retire 4 of them. Once I'm comfortable with the decision, I can say, let's commit this decision to the board. So once I commit to the board, I can move on to my governance, which is the last part, where now I have this Kanban board kind of scenario where I can see those reports. So I can see the 4 reports that have been put to retire, the one to keep. So I can move them around. I can put it in progress. If I click into the report, I can see the details about it. The fact these are the comments I left. Here's my comment. If I want to add more details, I can add more comments saying, keep this report. And if I want to add some attachment, I can attach that as well. So I can just say, okay, attach something, and I'm just going to upload an image for everyone's reference. So I've attached a PNG. And if I save that, I can see that attachment, that basically justification to why I want to keep it, perhaps. I can also change the status here from in progress to say, I can just keep it in progress, or I can say keep as survivor, set the status, so it comes back here. And these ones, I can move them about and, work on this Kanban board. The interesting feature of this board is while I'm interacting and moving these reports around, this also dynamically updates the status of the actual reports on your Explorer view. You can see here, it says staff access is in to-do. The one that I'm keeping has been put into keep. You can see the supervisor completion is on to-do. So these status gets reflected back so that if anyone is working on this project in parallel, they can see real-time changes you're doing to your workflows.